Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another video or episode of our financial intelligence classes, where we talk about businesses, investments, how to come up with more sources of income, and so on and so on. Now, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is John. I'm a professional accountant with X-Finop Accountancy and Insurance Consultancy. All right. And therefore, if you are seeing me for the first time, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, you can give me a like on this particular video, and also make sure that you share if this content is going to be of interest to you. All right. Now, this is what I normally do. I come here with a pen and a whiteboard and tell you what exactly you're supposed to do for you to elevate your financial path. Now, today our topic is very interesting because we are talking about before you quit your job. Before you quit your job, all right? Before you quit your job. Now, you realize that when it comes to quitting your job and moving to the next job, or probably just quitting for the sake of quitting, probably in that organization that you work, something pissed you off and you really want to get rid of that particular job or that particular organization. But remember, you might not want to quit that particular job because you have not considered other factors that could even escalate the situation or make the situation worse than expected. And therefore, in this particular video, I'm gonna come up with 3 good things that you're supposed to evaluate first, or maybe think about before you quit your job. Now, I was just looking at global statistics that shows that out of 100% of employed people, all right, out of 100% of employed people, either in formal sector or formal sector, only 30 to 40%, only 30 to 40% are actually very satisfied. Only 30 to 40% that work in different organizations or different job places are very satisfied with the work or with the organization. Probably, you might be satisfied with the work that you're doing. For example, for me, I'm an accountant, so I'm very comfortable with accounting and I'm interested and I'm happy that I'm an accountant. But now the organization that I'm working with, I'm not satisfied with it. So 30 to 40% of people are very satisfied in the organizations that they work with. This one tells that more than 60%, so more than 60% of employees are just their average, not satisfied, but not so satisfied, but they're just satisfied, all right? But I think majority of these are, just to say, like, let's say 40%, let's say 20% are satisfied and 40% are not satisfied in their job places. They are just there just to meet their needs, to make sure that they have moved on with life, because again, you cannot quit your job if you don't have plans where you are supposed to go, what you are supposed to do, where you're supposed to get money to keep your operations running. And therefore, you're just stuck in that particular organization, in that particular job, not unless you have something else to do, not unless you have another connection that you can probably do something else so that you can keep your income coming in, so that you can be able to maintain your lifestyle and make sure that you get food into your mouth. All right. Now, those are just statistics. Ask yourself, if in that organization that you're working with, either you are an accountant, an engineer, a doctor, either you are a procurement officer, whichever job that you are doing, either in formal or informal sector, either you are employed in a supermarket, you are employed in any kind of sector that you are employed, ask yourself, are you satisfied with the work that you are doing? Now, if you're satisfied with the work that you are doing, are you satisfied with that organization? Is the organization giving you good services? Do you have employee benefits in your particular organization? Do you have, is the environment healthy in terms of employee manager or employee employer relationship? For example, whereby you find that there is a lot of problems that arises between the employees and their managers, and the employees and their bosses and their employers. Now, what is the situation in your organization? You can put it on the comment section. We can discuss there and see how people are navigating through these problems, and probably someone in that comment section is going to grab something that can probably be able to help them. Now, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, now I want to move to my next very important point, that before you quit your job, there are things that you're supposed to have done. Before you quit your job, there are things that you're supposed to consider. Now, you find that most people are going to quit their jobs. The reason why you quit your job, number one, is that you have gotten another job. Number two, the reason why you quit your job is because you are fired. You have been fired from that organization, or the company has just decided to replace you with another person. Number three is for emotional purposes, emotional decisions. All right, emotional decisions, whereby you find that you cannot put up with the work environment that you are enduring, and then you decide to leave, and you find out that no, this is not for me, and I'm just going to leave this work environment. And because of the emotions that you have inside yourself, you cannot be able to tolerate the behavior in that particular organization. Probably your colleagues are mishandling you. Probably your manager is mishandling you. Probably your employer or the supervisor is harassing you, and so on and so on. So these are some of the reasons why you are going to quit your job. Either you have found another job that has better terms. Number two, you have been fired. And if you have been fired, you don't have any choice but to quit that particular job, or emotional decisions where you have your own personal reasons. Other people could quit their job because of a change in career path. All right. Other people could change their could quit their jobs because of change in career path. Probably just an example, let's say you are a finance person and you are an accountant or a finance manager. If you decided to change your career path to IT, and probably you have been doing IT as you are doing that particular job, and when you have gotten those skills that you need and knowledge, now you decide to put your time or employ your time fully to the IT side as compared to the finance side, and therefore you quit that particular job to join an organization where you're going to do something related to the IT. And even other fields, for example, you can join engineering, for example, you can even become a doctor, and so on and so on. I have seen so many young people who cannot be able to put up with work environments. They cannot be able to put up with the old-aged people, and therefore there are a lot of conflicts in that particular work environment, and you see them quitting their job. And this problem it's with the young people, whereby they are so much aggressive, and for example, they expect a lot when they get into job markets, and you find that young people do not want to work a lot in their jobs, and therefore when they are given a lot of tasks, and very demanding tasks, very challenging tasks, and you find them, they don't want to work, and they end up quitting their job, saying that let me go and find something else to do, this one is not for me. So there are so many reasons why you could quit your job. It could be personal reasons, it could be that you have found another job, it could be you have changed your career path, and so on and so on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I even continue to my points, remember these are just highlights that I'm just giving you so that you can understand that this scenario of quitting a job is not that particular. Is because it could even have effect on your side, and at the same time it could affect even the employer himself. Because before you quit your job, you're supposed to ask yourself, what is the effect on your side? You have lost that job. It means that money stops coming in. That salary that you are getting, it stops coming in. Not unless you are going for another job, then you could say that you have found better terms. You could say that salary will still come in, but even more than that. Remember, it could even have effects on your employer. For example, the employer is going to incur the cost of replacing another person, and the training costs is significant here, and it's something that you cannot do away with. So you have to look on both sides, between from the employer and the employee, and you yourself, of course, the effect that it brings on the work environment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when immediately you are employed, and this one goes to those people that have not been employed, immediately you are employed in an organization, either a formal or informal sector, either a person has employed you, or whatever kind of an environment that you're working in. Immediately that you have been employed, you are supposed to plan your exit immediately. You're not supposed to get comfortable in that particular organization, because you normally say that an employer or employment is not a permanent thing. It is not, it is just a temporary thing. It's only that you don't know the time, or you could get out or be fired, or something happens, or that organization liquidates and all of you are sent home. If you remember the case of COVID-19, where people went home, and the companies had to close because of that pandemic, because there was no business that was going on. So such scenarios could make you such scenarios could make you start exit plans, because you might not know, or you may not be able to define the uncertainties that could arise in future. So you're supposed to be very careful in a workplace, and you're supposed to exit, or you're supposed to plan your exit plan immediately you get employed. Start planning for your exit. All right, it is not a must for you to say that in the next 1 year I'm going to leave this organization. No, it is just saying that you're supposed to be ready. You are supposed to be ready for anything that might arise in future, or might come up in that particular organization. And the best way to do this is making sure that you have put some money aside, and we have advocated for 20% of your salary that you'll be getting. You have put it aside. And I said that if, for example, you are earning 30,000, and you have been employed, and the terms of employment is that you'll be getting a salary of 30,000 at the end of the month, you are supposed to put aside 20% of these 30,000, which is equivalent to 6,000. Now, if you multiply this one by 12, you realize this is 72,000 Kenya shillings at the end of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, you just worked for 1 year, and you have been able to save 72,000 at the end of the year. It means even if your employer decided now you are no longer competent in that organization, and they need to get rid of you and replace you with another person, you already have some financial security. And therefore, the first point, this one leads me to my first point of, before you quit your job, you're supposed to make sure that you have some financial security. All right, that is my first point. Before you quit your job, you're supposed to make sure that you have some financial security, ladies and gentlemen. And we said financial security is going to be brought about by the savings that, or the money that you put aside and put them as investments. All right, and they are going to act as shield against uncertainties in future, or those circumstances that may arise in future that you did not expect. For example, you're fired from job, the organization closes, and so on and so on. And I've just given a very simple scenario whereby, if you are earning 30,000 net salary, you can put 20% aside each and every month, first to make sure that you have some financial security. That is just for the purpose of securing yourself, protecting yourself. Si ati unafutwa kazi ama kampuni inafunga, and then uko zile za unaanza kukopa, you start disturbing your friends, your family members, and so on. And it's something that you could have prevented. All right, it's something that you could have prevented. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you put aside 20%. You can even do more than 20% depending on your salary. For example, a bachelor who is earning 100,000, 20% of 100,000 is 20,000. Now, where do you take 80,000? You are just alone and you have not married anyone. You can even increase that one to 50%. You can say that I'm going to save 50%, and then 50,000 I'm going to use it. For example, you can pay rent of 20,000, and then The rest of the money, you're going to make sure that you're happy, but you have saved the biggest proportion of that, that is 50%. If you do that in the next 1 year, if you multiply 50,000 times 12, that is close to 1 point something million, all right? Is it close to some? Let me see. 50,000 times 12. That is 600,000, not it's not yet 1 million. That is 600,000. And you see, that's how people normally build up financial security, just like that. But someone who is just going to receive all that money and you squander the whole of it, and you utilize the whole of it, and there is nothing to save in an investment account, then even the Bible is against that, because God calls those people who utilizes or uses everything and doesn't save small. Those are fools. That is what the Bible or the God calls them. All right. So you don't have to be a fool here. Just make sure that you've put aside some amount of money just to cater for your security, just to protect yourself in future, to make sure that you are financially secure in future in case of anything happens. All right. That is the first reason that you're supposed to make sure that you have some financial security through monthly savings. All right. The second reason, the second thing that you're supposed to make sure before you quit your job, the second thing that you're supposed to make sure that you have taken care of is you're supposed to make sure that let me check this one. You're supposed to make sure that you have a business. You have a business of you have started a business. Let me write here business. All right. Now, if it's not about financial security, probably you are employed. It means you had some financial security. You had like 200,000 saved in a money market fund account, saved in a treasury bills account, saved in any account that you could call account for investments. And then if it's not that, it means that you have a business. You have another source of income. All right. And therefore, this is where I could say, if before you quit your job, make sure you have a second source of income. So let me just write here a second source of income. A second source of income. All right. Because if this is only, if salary is only source of income that you have, and then you want to quit due to emotions that you have, oh, manager my colleague talked bad to me, and then the employer is telling me to do this and that, and I cannot do this, and some things that we face in organization, we just have to endure them and sacrifice and be resilient to the working environment. Sometimes it's not that good, it's toxic, but we just have to adapt to it and see what we can do. It is just for a short period of time, and then you move on to the next thing. So business, second source of income. All right. So you need to make sure that you have at least a business or a second source of income. If you don't have a business or a second source of income, then you need to define or make sure that you have a plan. Let me write plan here. You have a plan that you're supposed to start a business. And how does that plan comes along? It only comes along if you had some financial security. For example, if you had some 200K here, you can start a business, or you have the plan of starting a business. You can start a fruit vending business. You can do a car wash. You can just do something just to make sure that you've earned some income out of it. Because again, if you start eating this 200,000, it's a lot of money. Instead of multiplying that 200,000 with time, and you don't look for a job, with time you are going to deplete that amount, and then you're back to zero. Then you start again, and then you are going to have a lot of problems. You are going to be in debt, and so on and so on. So make sure you have a business, or if you don't have a business, or if you don't have a second source of income, make sure that you have a plan of coming up with one. Because nile unasemanga, now right now I'm employed, I want to quit this particular job. Why are you quitting? Because you have another plan, you want to do something else, and you have already defined it. You have defined it, and you have seen that this one is going to help me. Actually, if I move from this point to this, and if I do this one, if I normally get a salary of 30,000 here. Now this one is going to give me 60,000 net. You see, you need to define the figures here and come up with a very good plan of exactly what you are supposed to do. Now, the last thing I talked about 3 things that you're supposed to make sure that you have done before you quit your job. The other one is you read the read the terms of other new job. Now you read the terms of the other new job. Read the terms of the other new job, because you know it's very interesting here, ladies and gentlemen, and this one I'm going to insist on it, because there are some people who are going to get a new job, and because they were so eager to leave the business, the job that they are working currently, they were so eager to, yani alikuwa anangoja hiyo moment pap yenye atapata job ingine, and then they are not going even to read the terms of service for the job that they have found somewhere else, and they are just going to jump into it. And this one is an opportunity. You know, you might be leaving the current job actually only to find out that the terms that you are existing with in that current job were actually better than those terms that you have found in the new job. So it's always good to take time to read the terms and confirm and ask and inquire and make sure that everything is okay. All right? Confirm, inquire, and make sure that everything is okay, because someone is going to tell you, here we are going to give you this employee benefits and so on and so on, and then you find out that it's just a company that is just growing and so on and so on. So it's always good to read the terms of the new job and compare with the terms of the job that you are doing previously and see which one fits you, because you might have found another job, but when you read the terms of employment, actually the job that you want to leave, they have better terms of employment, and therefore you decide, let me just stay until I get very good terms that outdoes the current terms that I'm working with. So make sure that you read the terms of new job. Do not act with emotions. No, when you are leaving a job and joining another job, you need to use your head. Do not use your heart, because when you trust your heart, you are most likely you are going to make a lot of mistakes, and that mistakes are going to cost you a lot, and they are going to cost you money. All right, so make sure you read the terms of the new job. Make sure you have a second source of income or a business, and if you not, make sure you have a plan of coming up with one. And the first one that we talked about is making sure that you have financial security. Actually, that goes without saying, that if you want to leave a job, make sure then you have saved some money somewhere that is going to cater for your needs for the next probably 6-7 months without struggling. And at that particular moment, you have the comfort of looking for something else to do, looking for another job, and so on and so on, without disturbing, niliacha kazi and then I don't have anything, you know, those are the stories that you're going to hear from people. But anyway, we are human beings and we can always support each other. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those are three things that I wanted to share with you in this particular video. Now, if you feel that you have something else that you can put on the comment section, tell us. Before someone quits their job, what should they do first? You can put it on the comment section, then we can have a discussion down there. And remember, guys, I told you at the beginning of this particular video, my name is Sir John Mweri. So in case you are seeing me for the first time, now you've seen what I normally do here. So this is another reason that you should stay subscribed in this particular channel. So make sure you hit the subscription button, turn on the notification bell, so that anytime I upload a video, you're the first person to get it. Again, just kaombi to make sure you share this particular video so that we can be able to help a lot of people. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? What else should you do before you quit your job? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was my time. See you on the next.